In the endless silence between galaxies, something moves. Not a star, not a planet, not even the faint hum of a distant nebula, but a single particle of light, a photon, drifting through the black for billions upon billions of years. It carries no weight the human hand could feel. Yet within it lies the memory of an age when the universe was not yet a universe. A time before dust, before fire, before the first heartbeat of a star. Physicists call it ancient light. But to speak its true nature, one must step beyond the language of science and into the language of memory. For this light is a messenger, an unbroken thread from a moment so far in the past that time itself had barely begun to breathe. And yet, it is here. Crossing distances the mind struggles to imagine, it finds itself caught in the glass and metal of a human creation. A telescope, suspended far from Earth, an artificial eye forged for a single purpose: to peel back the layers of cosmic history and The design was radical, a segmented gold mirror, 6.5 meters across, each panel polished to microscopic precision, an array of instruments capable of capturing infrared light, the faint heat signatures of the earliest cosmic events. A sunshield the size of a tennis court, folded like origami to fit within the launch veil. It began as a dream written in equations. In quiet offices and crowded laboratories, astronomers and engineers sketched the first outlines of an impossible eye, one that could pierce the deepest reaches of the cosmos, looking not just back in space, but back in time itself. The James Webb Space Telescope was conceived not in a single moment, but in decades of relentless vision. Born from the successes and limitations of Hubble, it was designed to see further than any human-made eye had dared, into a realm where galaxies had yet to fully form and where light had traveled almost as long as the universe had existed. But even this was only the official mission. In the halls of modern cosmology, the timeline of the universe has been, for more than a century, a cathedral of certainty. Its foundation stone is the Big Bang, a singular moment 13.8 billion years ago, when space, time, matter, and energy erupted from a point of infinite density. Everything that exists, every atom, every galaxy, every breath of air, is a child of that instant. This is not merely theory. It is written in the faint, omnipresent glow of the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the universe's birth, mapped and measured to exquisite precision by satellites like COBE, WMAP, and Planck. It is supported by the recession of galaxies, observed by Edwin Hubble in the 1920s, whose motions are written into the expansion rate of space itself. It is bound together by Einstein's equations, which have described the curvature of space-time for over a century. Tested against the orbits of planets, the bending of starlight, the ticking of atomic clocks. And yet, in the cold, unblinking dark of space, the telescope hung in its silent vigil. It had been designed to see the invisible, to capture whispers of light so faint they had crossed the gulf of eternity to reach us. And now that faint signature had appeared, something that should not exist. Scientists knew the first step was not wonder, but doubt. For every great claim, there must first be proof beyond the reach of error. The light had to be real, not a ghost born of faulty sensors, not a trick of cosmic interference, not a glitch in the human mind's desire to see more than is truly there. So, they began the investigation. The telescope's heart was its infrared vision, arrays of gold-coated mirrors directing the faintest warmth of distant galaxies toward instruments colder than the void itself. The detectors were chilled to a few degrees above absolute zero, for only in such stillness could they feel the brush of photons that had traveled for eons. A spectrometer, its precisio. The light was not what they expected. It did not stretch evenly across the cosmic canvas, like the whisper of the microwave background. It shimmered with unevenness, faint ridges and valleys of brightness, threads of pattern woven into its ancient glow. These fluctuations were not random noise. They were deliberate, etched into the signal like scars upon the skin of space-time itself. The deeper the data was probed, the stranger it became. Spectral analysis revealed ripples, tiny variations in wavelength that defied the smoothness predicted by the standard model of cosmology. If these were distortions caused by intervening galaxies or clouds of gas, the models would have matched. But nothing in the known universe could have shaped them this way. Some began to whisper of pre-Big Bang relics, fossil imprints left behind from a universe that existed before ours, frozen into the radiation like ghostly handwriting. Others suggested they were quantum scars, traces left when space. The patterns in the light had opened a door, and on the other side lay questions vast enough to swallow entire philosophies. To peer into them was to look beyond the known history of the cosmos, into a realm where even the first second of time was not the true beginning. Physicists began to search for explanations. Some reached for the oldest and most daring visions, models in which the universe is not a one-time miracle, but part of an eternal rhythm. In the cyclic universe picture, reality has no final birth or ultimate death. Instead, it expands and contracts endlessly, like the breath of some unimaginable organism. In such a cosmos, the Big Bang we know was simply the last inhalation, a transition between ages. The light's strange fluctuations, they argued, could be fossil echoes from the universe's previous cycle, subtle fingerprints left behind before the last great collapse, when everything was crushed to a point and then reborn. A close cousin to this idea was the signal still lingers in the data, a fragile whisper carried across 13 billion years of darkness. But whispers are easily mistaken. To separate truth from illusion, the world's most powerful eyes turn toward the deep. The Great Space Telescope, its mirrors cooled to near absolute zero, begins a new campaign. It stares unblinking into the black, for days, then weeks, then months. Its sensors drinking in photons so rare that they arrive just a few at a time. Each one is weighed, measured, and judged. The telescope's infrared vision, tuned to wavelengths stretched by cosmic expansion, captures light older than the oldest stars. Spectrographs dissect each photon, unraveling its fingerprints, searching for the unmistakable traits of this strange, ancient glow. Yet space-based vigilance is not enough. Down on Earth, in deserts and mountaintops, other instruments join the watch. Radio telescopes sweep the skies for matching frequencies. Combing through the low-energy static of the uni, in the quiet expanse of the cosmos, a question lingers. What if the universe we know is not the whole of reality, but merely its latest verse? If there was a before, then time, as human minds understand it, is not a line, but an ocean, an endless shifting tide, where beginnings dissolve into endings, and endings give birth to beginnings once more. For centuries, humanity has looked upward, chasing the horizon of the knowable, through stone circles, polished lenses, and spaceborne mirrors. We have tried to pierce the veil, and yet this faint, ancient light, drifting across the eons, dares to suggest that our greatest theories may be only fragments, that the story we have told ourselves about the birth of everything may be just one chapter in a saga without end. Its photons, impossibly old, may have traveled not just through space, but beyond it, through epochs where no stars burned, across realms where space-time had yet to take shape, each one a silent messenger. Whis.